All right, everybody. Welcome to Get Fit for God, day number 3 of our 7-day fitness and spiritual challenge. I'm very happy to see everyone that has shown up today for our Wellness Wednesday. Today is a wonderful day that we educate ourselves with wellness, health, nutrition, all those things. So I want to thank all of those that found it fit to come today and enjoy Wellness Wednesday. So I want to welcome my guests, my visitors, and my legacy team. My name is Aaron Dixon. I actually created Get Fit for God to bring spirituality and fitness together as one entity because our bodies is a temple that was created by God, and we should try to honor it. We should try to take care of it. We should try not to abuse it or stress it away. And at the same time, we're here to try to build our mental muscles, our spiritual muscles, and our physical muscles at the same time. So I want to thank all those that have joined to help us in that mission itself. So today we won't have a live speaker today, but we will be watching a wellness video today. So I will be talking about that in a few minutes. But I do want to thank all those that have shown up to the Wellness Wednesday. All right. Typically we do a workout and a Bible study, but today we're not doing that. We're doing our wellness and learning about, again, things that are connected to health and wellness itself. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right into it. I'm going to do a quick intro about what this video is all about. So just hear me out on the intro itself. This video is actually a video, and I'm actually in communication with this person to try to see if I can get him live on our show. His name is Dr. Umar Johnson. He's a doctor of clinical psychology and a certified school psychologist who is an expert in mental health. And in the lecture that we're going to watch, he's discussing solutions on how to overcome mental health traumas and the importance of forgiveness, spirituality, and also seeking your purpose in life. So I want you to hear his core message, not really his religious background or his connection. Mm, he mainly talks about the connection of spirituality and mental health, along with forgiveness, etc. Because wellness is not just about food, exercise, diets, and all those things. It's also about the state of mind that we're in, the state of mind that we're in. And so he's going to be talking about that state of mind. So let's go ahead and enjoy it. And then after the lecture itself, then we can have an open discussion about what was said on the lecture itself. All right. All right. Throw some thumbs up in the air, you guys, if you guys are ready to hear the lecture and ready to get our wellness together for today. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right, guys, turn up your phones and I'm about to go ahead and play the video. Give me just a moment. Let's see. Give me just one moment. I'm just going to get it started. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. So,
home, beautiful wife, beautiful children, or if it's a woman, beautiful husband, and I'm still miserable. And you know what my answer is? Because you were not sent to the world to become a multi-millionaire. You were not sent to the world necessarily to become an attorney or an engineer. We have to understand that our time on this earth will end one day. And before your time on this earth ends, you have to fulfill whatever divine contract you made with the Almighty before your mother birthed you into this dimension. There's no such thing as a bastard child. There's no such thing as a useless human being. There's no such thing as someone who was not meant to be born. If you are here now, I don't care if your parents gave you up for adoption when you were born. I don't care if you have a physical disability or intellectual disability. I don't care if you have to struggle your whole life to make ends meet. If you are breathing on the planet Earth, you have a divine purpose that is only yours and only you can fulfill. The crisis, the reason why so many of us are spiritually malnourished, is many of us don't believe we have a reason for existing. Some of us think we're only here to work, pay our bills, and live another day. That is not why you are here. God doesn't make anything in excess. Nothing in the universe is made in excess. So there's not 1 million more people that are necessary. There's not 100 more people that are necessary. There's not 5 more people than are necessary. If you are here, you have a reason for existing. The problem is most of us don't know what it is because we're too busy chasing the hypnosis of capitalism that we don't sit down and be quiet by ourselves long enough to communicate with spirit so we can find out what our purpose is. You know, in therapy, I've had people come sit on my couch, filthy rich, and they say, Dr. Umar, why am I unhappy? I have all the money I want. I got 4 or 5 homes, a beautiful wife, beautiful children, or if it's a woman, beautiful husband, and I'm still miserable. And you know what my answer is? Because you were not sent to the world to become a multi-millionaire. You were not sent to the world necessarily to become an attorney or an engineer. You were sent to the world to serve humanity, and this far in your life, you have not done so. So your soul is spiritually malnourished. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, it doesn't matter how many more homes you buy, it doesn't matter how many more legal practices you open across the country, until you address your spiritual malnourishment, you will be unhappy. You know what's sad? We raise the children to imitate our spiritually dysfunctional behaviors. So before they're even 18 years old, they've already been handicapped by the materialistic addiction of American society. I want to give you a couple things, a couple characteristics, a couple symptoms of someone who's on a spiritual path. Because what I find as I go around studying human beings, because that's what we do as psychologists, we study people. And what I found is we have religious intellectualism and spiritual scholarship masquerading as spiritual enlightenment. I want to say that again. We have religious intellectualism, spiritual narcissism masquerading as enlightenment. What do you mean? Have you ever met somebody who knows the Bible front and back? Or knows the Quran front and back? Or knows the Torah front and back? Or knows the Gita front and back? Or knows the Dhammapada front and back? Or knows any spiritual tradition you can think of? They know it inside and they know it outside. Intellectually, they are master of the information. But guess what? Some of these spiritual, intellectual masturbators are some of the most spiritually malnourished people you can meet in your life. Some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You know everything about this religion, but you've never practiced it a day in your life. You know everything about this tradition, but you've never internalized it a day in your life. You have to guard against that, because the ego does not want spiritual enlightenment. The ego dies under spiritual scrutiny. Your ego wants you to fight. Your ego wants you to compare yourself to other people. Your ego wants you to dominate other people. Your ego wants you to control other people. Your ego is all about control and domination. Comparison and accumulation. Your ego does not want spiritual enlightenment, because the more spiritually you grow, the weaker the hold the ego has on you.
That's right.
And you can't serve your ego and serve your spirit. Some of us try to do that. For 1 or 2 hours, we think we spiritually enlightened, and the next 22 hours, we out here practicing supreme egoism. Comparing and dominating and cursing people out. Spiritually inclined people don't act like that.
Come on.
I'm going to tell you something else spiritually inclined people are not prone to do. Hold grudges. If you are a grudge holder, you'll never receive the Christ consciousness you thirst for if you don't forgive that person, and I don't care how bad the hurt was. It don't matter what the hurt was. Listen, a grudge is a spiritual jail cell that you put yourself in that locks you out of God consciousness, because a grudge is a low frequency energy. When you're holding a grudge against someone, you're practicing low frequency energy. So there's no way you can ascend to Christ consciousness or supreme consciousness while you're wishing ill on another person because they've done ill to you. Have you forgiven your mother? Have you forgiven your father? Have you forgiven your brothers and sisters for their sins against you? Have you forgiven your best friends, your co-workers, people in the neighborhood? There is no growth. There is no higher frequency for you if you can't overlook and dismiss the wrongs that others have done to you. You can't hold somebody down and think that you're going to go forward. And forgiveness is not about forgetting. Some of y'all think to forgive is to forget. Absolutely not. If somebody wronged you, you don't forget that, because they might wrong you again. You don't ever have to deal with the person again. You don't even have to tell them you forgave them. But you have to do it within your heart and within your spirit. See, let me tell you a little trick. The toughest trials and tribulations that you face in life, homelessness, sickness, abandonment, abuse, the betrayal, the worst trials and tribulations that you have to suffer in your life, they are there because there is a spiritual benefit to be gained from it if you conquer that trial and tribulation. Most of us cry and shrink when bad things happen. I just lost my job. My husband just walked out on me for another woman. My son said he didn't want to talk to me again. I was just in a car accident with no insurance. Some of you shrink from misfortune. I'm telling you, embrace the misfortune, because in the misfortune is a seed. If properly planted and cultivated, will bring forth spiritual progress. Listen, if life was going to be easy, there'd be no reason for you to be here. What is the purpose of you being here if it is not to overcome trial, trauma, and tribulation? Remember, you would have never reincarnated if you had passed all your tests in your previous lives. You would have never come back. You don't come down from the Father if you've already passed all the tests. You failed some tests in your previous life, and you are back down here again to finally pass them tests. And if you waste your 85 years on this earth, if you waste your 95 years on this earth, if you waste your 75 years on this earth being distracted by worldly things and not tending to your spiritual business, you'll be back again. And you're going to keep coming back until you learn the spiritual lesson that this incarnation gave you. I'm going to go somewhere one time. which is no better than any of your spiritual paths. I want to be clear. I do not believe in spiritual narcissism or spiritual imperialism. I believe that your particular path must be based on your particular needs and your particular destiny. This is why we got to be careful telling Christians they got to leave the church if they want to find God. That's not necessarily true. We got to be careful telling Muslims or Hebrews or Moors or Nation of Islam or Nawapians or African traditionalists, you're on the wrong path. You don't know that. Even if the religion has its faults, by attending that church, they might meet somebody who has something for them that'll help them get to the next step on their particular mission. Don't be so selfish as to think you know why somebody is here. I may not get nothing out of the church, but a relationship that will help me further my own spiritual growth. I may get nothing out of the masjid, but a relationship or an experience that might help me further my spiritual growth. So we got to stop pulling people away from the path they've chosen, because how do you know their destiny doesn't require for them to stumble and fall? In Yoruba culture, in my particular path, which is no better than yours, in Yoruba culture, there's a concept known as Abiku. Abiku are children, young children, who are born into this world to die quickly. We've all seen accidents of babies. Was born, died a crib death. Was born, was in a car accident. Was born, had some kind of unknown disease and expired within 12 or 24 months of life. You say, why would God send a spirit to earth to only expire within 24 months? Well, here you go again thinking like a human being. That child may have been born in that family and died in that family, so those two parents can stop fighting and raise the other children the right way. Not everybody has a 100-year purpose on this earth. Look at the good Reverend Dr. King. Dr. King graduated high school at 15, finished up at Morehouse at 18. Why was Dr. King moving so fast on his path? I mean, his whole life was a bullet. You know why? He may have not known intellectually, but his soul knew spiritually, you're only going to be here for 39. The purpose God gave you, Martin, you ain't going to be here till you're 80 and 90. You got 39 years. So we're going to move you along real quick so you can achieve your destiny. And some of us will say, yeah, Doc, but he only lived to be 39. Look at all the years he didn't live. There you go making assumptions. It's not how long you live. It's not the years of your life. It's the amount of life in your years. Some of you know people who went back to the Creator at 25 years old, who lived a fuller, more abundant life than people you know 100 years old. Get off of calendar time. Life is not linear, life is circular. It's a cycle. We go in circles as we move. That's why some of y'all will face the same spiritual challenges over and over again, because you do not learn from the previous one. When you experience pain, pain is a message from your spirit that you need to start doing things differently, but do you listen? Some of us are so caught up in being part of the spiritual cliques that we belong to, that we never carve out our own unique plans of being here. So in Yoruba culture, there's a spirit in you known as your Ori. It is the God in you, Ori, located in the head. In heaven, before we incarnate, We negotiate our purpose with Almighty God. And then we come into earth with that purpose. But we lose the memory of that purpose through the trauma of childbirth. And your entire purpose on earth is to figure out your destiny and to fulfill it. Some of you are too distracted by music to do that. Too distracted by love and romance to do that. And I gotta say this, because I've seen it many times over. The person you marry, if chosen for the wrong reasons, may very well be distracting you from your destiny. This is why in most cultures, especially in African culture, you get a spiritual divination before you get married to make sure this man or this woman is best for your destiny. Because you wasn't sent to earth to get married. You were sent to earth to fulfill your destiny. That's the priority, not the marriage, not the law degree, not the business you just opened. See, our lives are not lived for us. Your life has very little to do with you. But what do you mean by that? Just what I said. Your life is a life of service. And if you haven't served anything but yourself, I can already tell you you're not on the divine path. Because selfishness is a disease and not a solution. If you are a selfish individual, I can promise you, you are not on the spiritual path. As someone who works with depressed people, do you know what I found? With depressed people, do you know we got a crisis of depression in America? I mean, people are depressed. This is the biggest reason for addiction. And do you know what most depressed people have in common? Depressed people are preoccupied with the past. If you're sitting here right now and you still think about that divorce, you still think about the boyfriend who left you 10 years ago, you still think about your sister who stole from you, you're living in the past. And what's wrong with living in the past? It's over. Nothing you can do about it. And so do you know what we do in therapy with depressed people? The whole therapeutic relationship is based on trying to get this person to understand that you can't change what already was. We can change the way you think about it. We can change the way you feel about it. But we can't change it. So constantly going back to bad experiences ain't doing nothing but inflicting spiritual wounds on your soul. Depressed people can't stop worrying about what's already happened. They are attached to what was. Now let's compare them to anxious people. Depressed people are overly worried about what? The past. And anxious people who suffer from generalized anxiety disorder, they're overly worried about the what? Future. Depression and anxiety is the same disease. It's only whether you're dealing in the past or whether you're dealing in the future. And what we're supposed to be clinging to as spiritually inclined folks is the here and the now. Because it's the only thing you can control, the here and the now. It's the only time you can do something about your situation, in the here and the now. It's the only way to make your life better, in the here and the now. It's the only way to forgive somebody, in the here and the now. It's the only way to fix your business, in the here and the now. It's the only way to improve your relationship with your parents, it's in the here and the now. You can't do nothing about yesterday, and you have no control over tomorrow. Live in the here and the now. And that's why when you read any spiritual Bible, any spiritual path you all are on right here, they talk about the central importance of what? Non-attachment. Don't cling to nothing. Don't cling to your career. You might lose it. Don't cling to your car. You might lose it. Don't cling to your new home. You might lose it. Don't cling to your wife. You might lose it. And guess what? Some of us end up suffering life-changing losses because you are so distracted by what you think you possess that the universe takes it away from you so you can regain focus. I'm going to say that again. We all know people who've been through that, right? You say you love that car too much, you might just lose it. The car more important than his wife, the car more important than his kids, the car more important than his mama, and you're looking at him like, bruh, you sowing some bad karma. Because karma ain't nothing but what? Spiritual reciprocity. All of us get what we give. And here's what you need to know about karma. See, the spiritual bank of the universe is a very strategic bank. Because you might have done something wrong 20 years ago and think you got away with it. And 30 years later, you paying back a karmic debt from your 20s and you in your 50s. Here's what you need to know. The universe sees everything you do, whether other people see it or not. You will pay for every bad thing you've ever done in your life before you leave. It might get you in your 8th decade. It might get you in your 7th decade. It might get you in your 6th decade. Brothers, let me give you a story I know of a brother would call a dog. He loved the cookies. Spiritual cookies, materialistic cookies, Atlanta cookies, Savannah cookies, Albany cookies, College Park cookies. He loved butter almond cookies, butter pecan cookies, caramel cookies, fudge cookies, cinnamon cookies, peanut butter cookies. He was a Georgia cookie monster. And after running through the sisters in Georgia, all through his 20s, and running through the sisters in Georgia, all through his 30s, he turned 40, met the queen of his life. He said, Dr. Umar, I'm done. I met her, I'm not playing, I want you to marry us. I found him. This man he thought it was over. He forgot the universe got to pay you back. You got a debt you owe to the feminine principle for taking advantage of her women. And don't you know, about a year or two into that marriage, he found out that she was in love with another man. And she ended up leaving him after 2 years of marriage for another man. In other words, what he had done for 20 years to other women was done to him the minute he found the right one. Y'all see how this works? You will always get paid back. The only way the universe will discharge some of your debt that you owe, you still got to pay most of it back, but the only way the universe will discharge some of the debt that you owe is if you progress spiritually and get some of the interest acquitted through charity. Sincere charity. What is sincere charity? The doing of good because it is good, expecting nothing in return. How many of us know about that? Because there's a lot of charity, but it ain't the kind that does good because it's good, expecting nothing back. It's the charity where you keep an account of everything you do for other folks. That's not charity, that's an investment. If I do something for you right now, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, she better give me some of that shea butter. Because I gave her a Dr. Umar book. That wasn't charity because I really want something back. I invested in myself. It wasn't even about you. See how selfishness operates? That's how selfishness will play games on you. You think you're holier than thou. You think you're the most charitable person in Atlanta, but you're going around investing in yourself through other people. You don't get no credit for that from the spiritual bank of the universe. How many of us spend time with children? Raise your hand if you spend time with children other than your own biologicals. Some of your hands had to come down. You see that? You're supposed to spend time with your biologicals. They are yours. So commend you for being a good parent, because a lot of us, what we do today, we got drive-by parents. They don't spend no time with their kids, they just drive by. Here go a new laptop. Drive by. Here goes some new weed. Drive by. Here go a new iPad. Drive by. Here goes some new Jordans. When the last time you spent time with your children? I don't know. You do know when they become 21, they don't remember what you bought them, they remember how often you spent time with them. Children need time. And when children don't get time, they come to school looking for attention from other people. And the teachers call it what? Ain't no daddy at home disorder, ADHD. And now your son on Ritalin, your daughter on Adderall, your grandson on Metadate, your granddaughter on Cycler. They're being doped out of their mind because their parents don't want to give them no time. Your career is more important than your children. And it's true for a lot of us. Your career is more important. Starting that new business is more important than your son. Why do you think celebrities have such a high child suicide rate? Why do you think professional sports coaches have such a high child suicide rate? Every other year, some coach's child taking their life. Every other year, some celebrity's child is taking their life. I know why. They're not cursed. They're just cursed with having a parent whose career is more important than the children. The Spirituality 101. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't meditate or pray, it's going to be difficult for you to get in touch with your inner soul. You got to take time to be by yourself with nobody else. Wife too. That's why in a lot of spiritual traditions, ancient traditions, the husband and wife had their own room. They didn't always sleep in the same room together. You want to know why? Because if I'm on a spiritual path, I might have to get up 3 o'clock in the morning and listen to a message from my ancestors. I can't do that with you farting and snoring on me all night. That's because if the sister has a dream, she say, whoa, that was a hell of a dream. Let me get up and go sit by the water. Let me go sit by the moonlight and see if there's a little bit more information my ancestors are trying to download. She can't do that with your thirsty ass trying to fill all on it all through the night. He thirsty. He wants cookies and you trying to develop consciousness. And what does Dr. Umar say? Consciousness over the cookies.
Oh my God.
Listen. There's nothing that will stop you more on your spiritual journey than to end up with a spiritual vampire living in your home. And you know who's most likely to end up with a spiritual vampire? Somebody of high spiritual vibration. Because vampires like to do what? Feed off your energy. And you stand there, sister, you saying, what made him come after me? We ain't got nothing in common. He needs your energy. Spiritual vampires need people of high energy to feed off. You ever date somebody who brought nothing but misery into your life? Every day it's another problem. You ain't happy no more. You don't have fun no more. You're like, what's wrong with my life? Ever since I got engaged, I guess I ain't been happy no more. That's because you put having a partner over spiritual progress. Be careful with who you spend the rest of your life with. They might block you from fulfilling your destiny. We live in a selfish world. And in the world we live in, people do not tell you what their problems are when they show up. You know how you buy a used car? They give you a whole list of what's wrong with the used car, don't they? You need a new carburetor, the transmission slipping, tires is beat, back light broke out. What about when you get a new house? They'll tell you the roof got a few leaks, the plumbing is about to go. Normally when you get something used, you get a list of problems. Not when you date used people. And all of us have been recycled unless you with the first person you ever been intimate with, and if you are, I congratulate you. Most of you are not with the first person you've been intimate with, so you've been used. Recycled. That's not a bad thing. The problem is, when your recycled ass meet another recycled person, and you don't give them a list of baggage you come in a relationship with. You notice when we date, we only project our best to the other person. You never project your worst the first couple of dates because you ain't gonna have nobody. Black woman, you don't cook, but you cooked every night y'all went out the first week. Because you're trying to get you that. Black man, you don't hold the door for no woman, but you held the door every day because you're giving her your public self. It's not until we move in together, she get pregnant, or we get engaged, now you start seeing the real person. You ever see people date for 20 years and never had a problem, got married for 1 year, they divorced in 6 months? Yeah. You know how that happens, right? Them 20 years, that was easy to think that, because we never lived together. I'll pick you up, go eat, go to the movies, go on a cruise, go on a vacation, bake some cookies, take you home. That's easy for 20 years. But now we live together. I didn't know your baby dad bangs on the door at 2 o'clock in the morning. You didn't know I had 2 extra cell phones for my baby moms. You didn't know that until you slept with me. You didn't know I don't put the toilet seat down. I didn't know you don't wash your hands before you cook. You didn't know I don't fix a flat car. I didn't know that you only take a bath once a month. You're a water conservationist. So you got to walk around my house smelling like foot and ass for water conservation. Nobody tells you these things. And that's why I'm a big proponent of people living together for 3 months before they get married. Now, ladies, I do have a limit, because I know somebody say, wait a minute, if he can get the milk, he'll never buy the cow. No, what if the cow crazy? You need to live with it for a minute. Yeah. Ladies, what is my romance limit? 2 years. If you've been living under the same roof with a man, I don't care if he's red, black, brown, or blue. If you've been living with a man for 2 years under the same roof, consistently for 2 years, he knows he's gonna wife you. If your man's still telling you I need more time, you out of time. The only question is how long you gonna wait around before you move on. Because see, what a lot of y'all sisters do, what a lot of y'all do is you'll meet a brother who ain't really what you want, but you'll put up with it because you ain't got no other options at the time. And you 35, and the next day you wake up, you 45, and you just wasted 10 good years on somebody you knew you wasn't gonna wife. 10 minutes left. And so, what I'm saying is, don't do that. Because men can reproduce forever. Women cannot. And the other thing my sisters gotta stop doing is playing the field too much in your 20s and your 30s, getting serious too late. You know what's the big difference I've seen between white women and black women when it comes to black men? White women will find a brother in college with potential, but no swag. He corny, he goofy, but he's smart. He got a vision, he got a dream. Guess what? Snow Bunny gonna snatch him early. Black women, y'all like the brother to come to you as a finished product. White woman will invest in the unfinished product. Black woman, come see me when you're finished. What I'm saying to my beautiful African queens, I need you to rethink that. Find you a brother in progress and say, you know what? He ain't where I need him to be, but he's definitely on his way, and I'm gonna help him get there. I want to go back to the spiritual path that we've been talking about. And on this spiritual path, one of the things I want to talk about is childhood trauma. And I'm going to end on childhood trauma. All of us probably have some childhood trauma. If you grew up in a single parent home, I'm almost certain you got some childhood trauma. If you grew up in a foster home, I'm pretty certain you got some childhood trauma. If you were abandoned by a biological parent or both, you probably have some childhood trauma. If you are lucky enough to still have biological parents who walk the earth, there is nothing more spiritually necessary for you to do than go find the mother who abandoned you. Go find the father who married another woman and never came back for his other children. Go find the foster parent who let you get sexually abused. Go find the big brother or big sister who turns you in to a non-caring relative because they didn't want the responsibility of raising their younger sibling. Listen, face the pain, because if you can face and conquer your spiritual pain, on the other side of that is your divinity waiting to meet you. And guess what? Humility and patience are requisite on the spiritual path. If you're not humble, I make it a point to be humble. Everywhere I go, I try to be the humblest person in the room. Because being Dr. Umar, I know people expect me to be arrogant. And I'm not naturally arrogant anyway. So I don't have to put forth a lot of energy to be humble, but I stay conscious of the need to be humble because I know the ego is my enemy on this path. Y'all have to practice humility and patience. The opposite of patience is anger. And anger is danger. Be patient. Listen, when somebody does something you don't like, when somebody intentionally tries to upset you, they're trying to pull you down spiritually. Why would you engage them? Why would you return nasty for nasty, evil for evil, anger for anger? You don't do that when you're on the spiritual path. You say, I know they're trying to pull me down. I'm going to say, peace be unto you, and keep it pushing. I got people come up to me in my lectures, Dr. Umar, you don't believe in this and you don't believe in this. I don't like, listen, I respect you. We're not going to agree to this. We're going to agree to disagree. Keep it pushing. You ain't got time to be getting into no stranglehold with people who ain't only there to take away your peace. Because you got people in this world who are so miserable, they want to increase miserability. But let me say this as I close. When's the last time you asked for forgiveness? Did y'all hear that? When's the last time you went to somebody you wronged and said, yo, 10 years ago I did this. I'm sorry. I'm deeply sorry. And if you can't forgive me now, I hope you can forgive me later. I come across a lot of parents who need to be asking their children for forgiveness because of the things that their children went through because they wasn't being on their job as parents. And sometimes I meet adult children who have disrespected their parents so much they need to go and ask for forgiveness. Humble yourself and tell somebody you're sorry for what you did. Take out your phone. I want to give you my number. If you got a cell phone, take my number in case you ever need to reach Dr. Umar. I'm going to close in a few minutes. Y'all need mental health for children and special education. And for the sake of time, I'm going to give you 3 talking points. I want every parent to listen. Number 1, if your children are under the age of 7, why in the hell are they being evaluated for special education? Let me repeat that. If your children are 7 and under, why are they being tested for special ed? The only children who should be getting tested for special ed, 7 and under, are children with speech problems, blindness, deafness, brain injuries, and orthopedic impairment. Why, Dr. Umar? Why do they have to be over 7? Because I can't prove ADHD, 5, 6, and 7. I can't prove autism, 5, 6, and 7. I can't prove a reading disability, 5, 6, and 7. I can't prove a math disability, 5, 6, and 7. You can't prove any of the major disabilities in a child that young, so wait. The reason the school wants them tested is so they can get paid. And since special ed begins at 3 years old, they want your child labeled as autistic as 3 so they can get money. This is all about money. It's not about helping your child. Number 2, don't ever get your child tested for ADHD. Ain't no daddy at home disorder. Why? Because the only thing they're going to give your child is medication. Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, Cycler, Metadate, crack, 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 crack. The only answer America has for boys who can't sit still is drugs. And if you don't give them the drugs, after they give them the diagnosis, they're going to call child services on you, and they're going to come to your house, and they're going to confiscate all your children, and you're going to be charged with medical neglect, and now you're going to get fired from your job because you're working somewhere that requires a clean child abuse clearance, and your clearance ain't clean no more because Dr. Umar told you, don't let them test your baby for ADHD or conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder or emotional disturbance or intermittent explosive disorder because it is a drug trap. Number 3, and my final point, and I'll get on out the way. Number 3 for my parents. Don't ever go to a school meeting if you don't know what the meeting is about. Don't you ever walk in there and not know why you in there. The school never wants to tell you why you're going so they can set you up. So you tell them there will be no meeting until you tell me what the meeting is about. And don't go to the meeting by yourself. Take 2 adults with you. Never go by yourself. Because you need a witness and you need support. And if you go by yourself, they can lie on you, misrepresent what you said, change the transcript. Never go to the school alone. I close with a quote. The most honorable Marcus Garvey said, without confidence in yourself, you are twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence, you have won, even before you have started. Garvey said, the greatest weapon used against the Negro is disorganization. He said, if the black man and woman are not careful, you will drink in all the poison of Western civilization and you will die from the effects of it. Garvey was asked, are you African or are you a Jamaican? And the leader of the largest black organization in modern history and the greatest human organizer of all time said, you ask me, am I African or am I Jamaican? And I tell you, I would never ever give up a continent for an island. I am an African, yesterday, today, and for all times. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay, so again, for those that are just joining us, today is Wellness Wednesday. And so typically we have someone to come in live to do a Q&A with us on things with health, nutrition, so forth. So one of the points I was trying to make today is that wellness is not all about what we eat and how much we exercise and how much we do all those different things, but it's also about the mental capacity as well. It's also about the mental capacity as well, and how we approach life, how we approach spirituality, and how we approach all those things. So with Dr. Umar, I don't really want you to look at his spiritual or his religious connection. But what I wanted you to do is listen to his concepts as a psychologist, as a mental health psychologist. He's a clinical psychologist, and how we should know what our purpose is. And we're here on this earth for a purpose. You know, in our religion, we know that our purpose is to serve God. We have a life of service. Okay. If you didn't know what your purpose in life is, if you read the Holy Bible, our purpose in life is a life of service, service to each other, service to God. Okay. That's what our true purpose in life is. Okay. So if you're searching around, trying to wonder what it is, what am I supposed to be doing in life? Why did God bring me on this earth? It's to serve God and serve each other. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's to serve God and to serve each other. So, Brother Umar Johnson, he spoke on that. And I really appreciate his concept on the psychological part of mental health and protecting our family, protecting our spirituality, protecting who we are as God's children. Okay. So again, if this, and I just want to put a disclaimer, if this offended anybody of anything he may have said, I do apologize. My whole intention is for you guys to understand the mental health portion of what he's talking about and the connection with spirituality and the connection with forgiveness, because forgiveness is important. Okay. Okay. Forgiveness is important. We had a series on forgiveness. So if you want to check that series out, I think, well, what was that, Didi? Session maybe number 14, maybe, or something like that. 14 or 13, somewhere in that area. But we had a whole series on just forgiveness by itself. Okay. So Dr. Umar did allude to, we must forgive each other. We must reach out to the people that we've wronged in our past and reach out to them and tell them that you're sorry. Even if they don't forgive you, even if they don't forgive you, you should still reach out to them and tell them that you're sorry for what you've done. We need to forgive ourselves, is one of the things that Dr. Umar mentioned as well. We should forgive ourselves because a lot of people, have wronged themselves. Okay. We need to forgive ourselves. I think that's really the first step before we reach out to forgiving others. We need to forgive ourselves for what we've done wrong as well. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that video and gotten something from it. Again, wipe away the religious context of Dr. Umar and what his preference is, because when he speaks, he always speaks to all religions, to all concepts. He doesn't worry about if you're a Christian, if you're a Muslim, if you're Islamic. He doesn't care about that. It's about your connection spiritually with your God. Okay? Our connection spiritually with our God. Okay? It's not about your brother. It's not about your sister. It's not about your mother, wife, or husband. It's about your connection with God. Because at the end of the day, when we get to heaven, God doesn't care what your husband did. He doesn't care what your wife did. He didn't care what your friends or children did. He cared what you did on this earth. He cared what you did on this earth. Okay? That's the most important thing. What are you doing every day to connect with God? What are you doing spiritually to connect with God? Right? Who are you helping? Who are you serving? That's the key thing. Who are you serving every day? We should be living a life of service. Yes, like Dr. Umar said, we want the fancy car, we want those big houses, we want the great job, but that doesn't get you into heaven. That doesn't get you nowhere close to heaven. Okay? What are you doing with that fancy job when you're making all that money? What are you doing with the money that you're getting from that fancy job? What opportunities are you creating for people that don't have any opportunities? Okay? What are you doing with that fancy car? Are you picking up people that need to go to church? Are you picking up people that need to go to a shelter? Okay. What are you doing with your opportunities and your accessibilities and your connections? Are you using those connections and things to connect people to opportunities? Connect people to improving their life? Okay. And Dr. Umar is 100% correct when he says that we need to utilize the amount of years we have on this earth, because we don't have a set time. We don't have a set time. You might be gone tomorrow. Like you said, Dr. Martin Luther King had 39 years. And the reason why he moved so fast in being an accomplished person is because in his spirit, he knew that he only had a short time. He only had a short time. We might not make it to 85. We might make it to 55. We might not make it to 25. We not even might make it to 2 years old, because God has a purpose for everyone's life. God has a purpose. He knows from the beginning to the end. He knows from the beginning of our lives to the end of our lives. And everyone in this world has a purpose. Okay? You are enough. You are enough. Okay? When you think that you're not enough and you're not good enough, or why would God use you to do anything, you got to get that thought out your mind. God has created all of us for a wonderful purpose in this world, and we all can and seek that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna open up the floor for any kind of comments, maybe to add to what Dr. Umar may have said. I want to hear from some other people. What did you guys think about the video? What did you guys want to add to it? Maybe. Right, Diddy?
Yes, I really enjoyed the video. And thank you for the disclaimer, because yes, Dr. Umar does speak to all different religions. But I wanted to discuss something that you just said in reference to the video about purpose. That was probably the biggest takeaway that I had about using your years wisely, and sometimes knowing that your purpose may be to help someone else's purpose. It's not that we all are going to be Martin Luther King or a Dr. Umar Johnson, but sometimes we come into the lives of others as a support to them. You can only imagine, Dr. Martin Luther King, what his time was like off camera, when he was just sitting at home bearing the weight of the world on his shoulders, and the people that were around him were there as a support to help him get to that greater place. So I think if we haven't found our earthly purpose aside from just, worshiping God, that's the number one directive for us, is to praise, worship God, bring others to Christ. But we have smaller tasks as well, and just finding those things. I think he addressed it. A lot of people that deal with depression, when you have the great job and the wonderful life and wife and kids and all this other great stuff, and you still are depressed, is because you might be focused on the wrong purpose. You've assigned a purpose to yourself instead of understanding what your true purpose is. So I definitely enjoyed the video. I think I'm going to rewatch it again.
All right. Very good feedback. Ludi?
Yes, I too agree with Dr. Umar on the part that he mentioned about children under 7 years old. They shouldn't be diagnosed with things like ADHD or ADD or something like that, because I never believe that the children, even under 7 years old or over 7 years old, I never believed they have ADHD. I never believed they had ADD. That I don't agree with, even though I study about that in my studies and all of those things, but I don't believe that. I think it's a made-up diagnosis that people, some doctor put on or come up with. I never ever believe in that. As a matter of fact, people that come to me and tell me about, the children, this, that, I don't necessarily want to give advice other than, with that, but my family or anybody that I know were close to me, I always say, don't take your children to have a psychologist to diagnose them, or to go to none of those meetings where they go because they trap you, they trap the parents, the children, everything. They trap them into that. And he right about that. When they put the diagnosis on them, believe me, they're not going to finish until the child gets into the system. Before you know it, they're going to a special school, they're going to this, there's no such thing as ADHD. There's no such thing as ADD. And what they do with them, they give them medication. That's all they give them. And those medication, what they call some of them is that drugs, you know, that kind of drugs is in those medication, you know, the name alone have the spelling with that drug in it. No one to
Methamphetamines.
say the drug,
Oh, sorry.
you know. But I'm telling people, and I've always tell people that ask me or that come, you know, they're gonna put you, the psychologist or the people gonna not finish with your child until the child on medication, which is damaging for the child. Do you see a person on a child on those medication? They're not themselves. It is pitiful, sorrowful, and I've always said it, and I don't care.
All right. All right. And also, again, I'm going to put that disclaimer out there, for those that are listening on live, those that are listening to the replay. You have the right to believe whatever you want to believe. We're just expressing our opinion. Again, Get Fit for God is a safe space for you to express your opinion and how you feel about certain things. So sometimes you're not going to agree here, and it's okay, because we're all adults. We all have our own thoughts, but we're saying these things just to open your mind a little bit. Open your mind a little bit to some options. Go ahead, Bernadine.
Good evening, everyone. Like the Bible said, to each their own. To each their own. That he did not get a spoon and put all his word on that spoon and shove it down our throat. He did not. Either two things we could have done. Either we could have tuned him, stay on, or tune him out. But some of us choose to stay on. So to each their own. I don't think no apologies in it. No apologies in that, because at the end of the day, he was not talking against black, white, Muslim, Jews, Catholic, nobody. He was talking against none. He was not bringing down no religion. He was not bringing down no medication. He was not bringing down nobody. So we choose to stay on and listen to it. And again, with the video, the replay, people choose. If you want to listen to it, you listen to it, tune him out and said, okay, then I don't have to listen to this, because to each his own. My part that I love, I am big in forgiveness. I am big person in forgiveness. I love that. Even when I am right, I cannot take when you hear somebody is mad at me just for a petty thing, even if it's a big thing. I want to make it right, because at the end of the day, if I lay my head down on my pillow and I know that you here I should go to pass away, I know that my heart is right, because I get it right. I forgive. I will not back no big baggage on my back when I know I can let it go. I can let go off of it. If my God was big enough, if my God was big enough to get on that cross and look and said, Father, forgive them, who am I? Who am I not to forgive somebody? So that is my part that I love. I am in forgiveness. I want to get it over with. I just cannot, at this age right now that I am no in no kind of mood for petty things. I am in no kind of mood for I wonder if I did it right. I wonder, no. I want to get my life right, that so in case the heaven should bust at this present moment, I know that I, Bernadine King, going to rapture up and be with my God. Like I always say, I do not want him to tell me, depart from me. I know you not, Bernadine, just because you cannot forgive XYZ, you cannot forgive John Doe or Jane Doe because of this. And I forgive you of everything that you did. Because sometimes we sin and we not even know we sin. Sometimes we hurt people and we not even know we hurt people. I always tell my children them. Sometimes you will pass someone and you will stamp on that person toe, and that person will turn around and say, hey, excuse me, you just stamp on my toe, and you will be like, I did? No, I did not do that. I did not. Yes, she or he was the one who feels it. As the person who feels it knows it. Who feel it knows it, and that was the person you hurt. So just turn around and say, forgive me, I'm sorry. A big person, it take a big man and a big woman and a big girl and a big boy to stop and say, forgive me. But it take a small person to say, you know what? I do not have to forgive because I did nothing wrong. So I am big in forgiveness, and I love that part with him.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Who else? Who else would like to add to the video, add to the discussion? We want to hear from other people. We definitely want to hear from. We have a few more minutes that we can chat a little bit more about it. Who else wants to add a little bit to the video, or your opinion on the video, or just anything you want to add to the lesson today? Go ahead.
You say I can go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk a little bit about the ADHD. I know when I worked in this pediatrician office before I started working in the hospital, a lot of the clients would come in and they would put their children on that medication, and they would say it was for focusing and stuff like that. But like Ludi said, it would make them act unlike themselves. It stopped them from eating. They couldn't sleep. And it made the act. That's a lot of times the medicine would be so much for their little bodies, just like they were like little zombies.
Mm,
So instead of them chastising them and training them the way they're supposed to train them up, because the Bible says train the child up in the way they should go. They just put them on the medication
mm,
and then say do this, do that, and all they had to do is just
mm,
teach their child instead of dosing them up. And a lot of us, we fall short. You tried, but you see it ain't working, so you take them off. Because I did it with Simone when she was younger, so I took her off. And I had to ask for forgiveness for myself and for God and to Simone, because I want to see would it help her. And she would be so upset, because she wanted to eat, she couldn't eat, she couldn't sleep. It was horrible. So, but it's not good for them. I mean, they may, oh, it helps me focus, oh, it helped me focus. No, if you train that child right when they're coming up, when you're raising them, they'll be fine. But you have to take time out with them.
mhm.
You have to take time and train your child, even if it's just you. I'm a single parent, so I had to train her the best I knew how with the help of the Lord, and whoever God put there to help me with her. But like I said, it takes what they say, it takes a
Village.
island. Huh? What you said? But
A village
okay,
to
it
Village.
takes a
raise.
village. Thank you. So, but I just wanted to say, but no, they are not like themselves, and it's hard on them, and it would be hard on you because you're not gonna you wouldn't want to see your child acting like that. Like, what's wrong with you? It's the
Mm.
medicine.
Right.
Okay.
Great point. And again, this is a disclaimer. We're not putting down conventional medication, okay? We're not putting that down. What we're saying is that there are some alternate ways to do some things, and there's some options of misdiagnosis out there and so forth like that. So we just have to consider all options, both spiritual and biblical, okay? All right. Katrina, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. It was a very good presentation that I did get a chance to listen into, but I would just say that you just must know your child. And at school they are only at school maybe about 6 or 7 hours a day. We're basically with our child all through the weekend, all through 5 days a week when they go to school or whatever. But know your child. We are as parents are child advocates. If nobody doesn't speak for them, they are left out there left to dry, be hang up. Just might as well say hang up. So you got to know your child. But I don't necessarily say one way or the other way, whether I disagree with medicines or not. But I do know that if a child is struggling in school, you got to do something. You got to do something. And a lot of times we don't feel the feel that they feel. But if their head is bouncing all around and here, there, and everywhere, and it's a struggle in school, they're continuously having write-ups, they're continuously going to the dean's office, something has to be done. I do think that the schools should train these teachers, put them in courses where they learn how to deal with ADHD kids and all the other ones with attention deficit, autisms, and stuff like that. But they don't really have a strong system in the school board, as I know of, that have this mandatory that the parents and the teachers would be able to be able to cross-reference and see what is happening in that child's life. But I feel that it's hard on a child when they are trying to struggle to focus. And sometimes it's just me thinking this way, that sometimes it's not as easy withdrawing the medicine as well. So I guess the best solution is to know your child. And when you find that something has to break through and give help, whether it's withdrawing or whatever, a lot of times, even us as adults, what we say, we don't want to take any medication. I don't need that hard medicine. I don't need that blood pressure medicine. I'll do this and I'll do that. But we must know our bodies. And so that's the way I feel about it. If you see help, look for help and sought help. And sometimes it's not, we can't ignore it. So I don't believe in medicating children of all things. I don't believe in that. But something has to be where the child can get help too. When they run, and you can't always look at it, and you're not going to be with them 24/7. So you got to do something. Some action must be taken.
Great point, Katrina. Great point. Also, one of the things that I liked about what Dr. Umar talked about, he said that sometimes these kids are acting out because of the time being spent with them. If there's not a lot of time being spent with the children, if there's not a lot of the parent investing in the child, those could be reasons of acting out. And then they misdiagnose them as ADHD, when realistically it's just that they're not getting the right amount of attention that they need at home. Okay, so I kind of agree with that as well. Go ahead, Sasha.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
I know I came in late, but I thank God I came in a little before the professor, this man, he decided to talk about, the special needs kids and things like that. I live in Belize, right? And I am a preschool teacher. I've been teaching for the past 15 years. And what I've noticed, I'm a bit baffled by hearing, the different experiences about children have to be put on medication for ADHD or autism and things like that. Because to my knowledge, here in Belize, we don't really do that. Teachers, and I know for a fact, most of them, they try to, avoid children that they think have special needs, because sometimes children with behavioral problem, children with simply understanding and things like that, or a physical disability might be challenging or too tedious for them, right? So most of the teachers, they try to refer these children to the special schools. But what we are trying to do in Belize is to promote more inclusive education, inclusive learning in the regular schools. Hence the reason why me and my staff members, we took it upon ourselves to enroll in the paraprofessional course, so that we can know how to deal with children with behavioral issues or things like that. Now, when it comes to actually diagnosing a child, we cannot do that. As teachers, we are not professionals. We are not any psychologists or anything. We cannot diagnose children. But the special education unit, they usually come inside school and they ask teachers, are you concerned about any of the children's behavior? Is there anybody that you flagged that has such and such a name? They give you a list of things, right?
Mhm.
So sometimes we would give them names, but we don't only give them names, you have they actually come in and observe these children, and
Mhm.
upon observation they will know if these children need further assessment or therapy or anything like that. So what they mostly do here in Belize, instead of medicating them, they actually refer them to the different centers or department that will actually give them therapy. For the children who are nonverbal, they would do speech therapy. For the children who they would say are autistic, they help them, with um different ways to with counseling and different activities that will help them to cope in a regular environment and thing like that. We do physical therapy, and we do well. Most of these therapy are done in these special centers, right? So
Mhm.
that but most of the time when we get actual, we'll say when they say, all right, we're going to diagnose these children, it's not from people here in Belize, it's from
Mhm.
specialists coming from abroad. These are the people who come and actually assess your child and say, okay, well, this child has ADHD because, well, everything that we see is on the, ADHD spectrum or whatever, things like that. So that is what's happening so far in Belize. So that's why I'm a bit baffled about the medicating stuff, because I have no knowledge of them doing that here in Belize. Instead, they
Mm.
try therapy and things like that.
Yeah, and that's definitely true. A lot of different countries have different methods, and again, some choose to do therapy, some choose not to do anything, others choose to use Western medicine to solve the issue. So it all depends on what part of the country you're from. Is their major focus on how they handle stuff like that? But I appreciate your opinion. Thank you so much for that, Sasha.
Okay,
Rosine.
thank you.
Yes, I just wanted to say that um with the medication, with the children on them medication, Adderall, all of them, they shouldn't be um taken off abruptly. Those medication has to be weaned off, because the kids will suffer, when they will go through withdrawal. So that's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Thank you so much for that advice. All right. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to add to the lesson today, to the Wellness Wednesday? Any other opinions? Any other anything else they want to add? We're definitely open. Again, this is a safe space for you to express yourself. We want to hear from you because something you might say might help another person here. I'm sure a lot of people are getting some good information today on this Wellness Wednesday. All right. Okay. All right. So I guess we're all in sync, everyone. Again, I appreciate you all having an open mind today as I played that video. Again, don't take it for its religious context, take it for the context of what it has to do with wellness, the mental health, the forgiveness, the spirituality, the purpose. Those are the things that I want you guys to focus on. All right. All right. All right, everyone. We're going to quickly do some quick announcements really quick. I want to thank all my visitors and guests. I had a few guests today. Let's see. If I call your name, don't be shy. We're not going to put you on the spot. We just want to know who invited you and just a little bit about you. I think one of the guests I saw someone named Rosita really early before the video started to play. Is Rosita still here?
No, I
All
think she popped out.
right. Okay. Who invited Rosita?
Marie did.
Marie? Okay. All right. All right. Well, tell Rosita we really appreciate her stopping by. Can you tell us a little bit about Rosita?
Rosita works at the communication department at immigration, and I've been asking her to come on. I went to visit today and I gave about 10 people Well, I sent out about 10 of them and she came on. So,
Okay.
but she texted me earlier that she had to do some assignment with her daughter and then she have to use the phone because where they live the access again.
Mhm.
It's the phone you have to use to do the assignment.
Okay. All right. Well, tell Rosita we really appreciate her stopping by for just a moment, and we want to invite her back to participate with us as we do our testimony Thursday tomorrow. So hopefully, she can come back and spend some more time with us. All right. Thank you so much for the invite. Who
I'll
invited
send her the replay.
you? Okay. I saw somebody by the name of Yvette. That was the only name I saw on there. Is Yvette still on? No.
No, she logged off not too long ago.
Okay. Who invited Yvette?
That was me, Aaron. I'll explain that to you later. That's had nothing to do with the live. I explain it to you a little bit later.
Okay. All right. And I saw someone named Shauna. Shauna, you still there? You
She would
sound like
have to unmute because she's on.
oh, okay. Shauna, press the unmute button. We just want to honor you for coming today, and we just wanted to see who invited you and just a little bit about you. Just press the there's a mute button to your far left at the bottom of your screen. Just go ahead and click that, and we should be able to hear you.
Night, everyone. I
Huh?
enjoyed.
How are
Uh,
you?
I'm okay. Nice to be. This is my second night listen. I like the program tonight, and I enjoy it. I listen to everybody.
Oh,
Sometimes, you know, I wanted to voice something earlier, but a little accident happened here. I got distracted. I didn't see. I forgot what I was about to say.
oh, okay. Well, go ahead. If you want
I
to voice
pick up
yourself about something, go ahead. We're here.
the it was the part where you said sometimes in our life we have come across like we experience things and it's good to share testimonies
Mm-hmm.
because some don't know that we could impact somebody's life, by sharing. There are people out there going through their own battles, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we don't know that they're even watching us, how we handle life. They sometimes see us in battles that we are in, and you know, the way how we handle it, it inspires others as well. So
Mm-hmm.
it's good, like you were saying earlier, it's good to share testimonies, things that we have experienced, because it can touch the life of somebody else. Like
Yes.
my here, I'm a single mother with 6 kids. I've faced so many challenges, so many battles, and I didn't know as a young mother of 6 children going through my own life, trying to serve God, put my life together with my children, let them grow up in the right part, serving God, put God in their life first before anything else. I didn't know that there were so many ladies and women looking at me and wondering how this young girl could manage. Like, I don't show like upset, anger. I don't, how
Mm-hmm.
could I reach to the level where I am without even being out there dragging my business or act like I'm so miserable or down or whatever? Everybody asks like, how you do it? How you manage? And I start to get I was suffering like couple months back through depression, and I keep myself locked up. I was working at a project as well to trying to bring out my little business, and been doing that, and with all of what I was going through, I didn't even know I had eyes on me. Um, I just started to keep locked up, just rush to the store, pay my bills, rush to school, pick up kids, drop off, and back home and things. Until now, I start to pray harder. I start to communicate more with God. Like, let it be, I don't only do it in prayers, but like throughout my every day, every minute, every second, I try to talk to Him, and like sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy because
Mhm.
I'm finding myself talking but communicating with the Lord. And I start to find it like it start to release me. I start to feel different. I start to build back confidence within myself. I start to get up and start to go back to the school to do activities with my children. I start to socialize once again. I'm starting to find back my way who I used to be. And by doing that, I'm starting to feel more compassionate towards myself. While
Mhm.
doing all that, I didn't know that there were women out there looking at me and said, something came to my thought and said, you know what? I just feel to get more active. I want to do a women's group because several ladies and young girls have met me individually and talked to me their struggles they're going through, and they admire me. They don't know how I do it. And then a mind start telling me, you know what? Let me start do a little open a women's group. Well, I'm at the start. I just had my first meeting this weekend gone, and I had a very great turnout. We had 20 women who partake and is very interested in the women's group,
Mhm.
and they want us to start to get what I say, get going in it, get going, get active, you know,
Mhm.
as quick as possible. So we're about to have our second meeting this Sunday to strategize ourselves, form our group names, and set up ourselves. And from there, we're going to proceed and see where the good Lord will take us.
Wonderful. Well, you know what?
But,
I
but
really, I really think that's a great idea.
the main message is like what you were saying earlier. It's
Mhm.
good to share our testimonies because it's a very good impact through spiritual way, emotional. It helps a lot because we could help change people ways how they see life, how they face challenges coming their way as well, you know.
All
It's a
right.
very experience with the stuff I've been through in my life, and now fully going all out to put God in my life. I've always known him, but there are times, you know, you get straight away, but he will always find his way to get back to you, to call you on, because it's never too late to give in to the Lord.
You're so right. You're so right about that. Well, that's
Mm.
wonderful, Shauna. I really wish you the best with your group. And we're all doing God's work. That's all we're doing. We're all trying to do God's work. And I'm a
Mhm.
big component of promoter of people that are doing God's work. And I just want to wish you the best. I'll be praying for you and your group, and keep on doing it. Keep on pushing forward. Like I said, you never know. Your testimony might change someone's life. Okay. Great job.
Yes,
Great. All right.
thank you.
Anybody else? We have any other guests, Didi?
Yes, Rosita just came back in.
Oh, Rosita. Okay. Hey, Rosita, how are you? Go ahead and click the unmute button really quick. And Shauna, forgive me, I didn't ask you who invited you.
It's Miss Marie Sue.
Oh, Miss Marie invited you too. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Miss Marie, for inviting Shauna. Thank you again. All right, Rosita, how are you? Did you find the unmute button?
Hi, yes, good night. Thank you very much. I did.
All right. We really appreciate you showing up today. We hope that the Wellness Wednesday gave you some really good information, and that the other people that inputted on the conversation may have inspired you with some good information as well. But
It
we want
did. It did. I am a mother of a few teenagers of my own, and it's always good to hear input from other people's aspect.
okay. Well, we want to invite you tomorrow, you and Shauna and all our other guests, to our Testimony Thursday. That's where we share our testimonies on how God has done wonderful things in our life, from improving our health to financial blessings to giving us opportunities to make a decision. And we want to be able to hear some of those wonderful testimonies that you guys are sharing with one another, and have you guys to come hear some as well. So we really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming today. And you guys have an open invitation to come back again tomorrow. All right? All right.
Thank you very much, Miss Marie, for inviting me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. And to anybody else, Diddy? Any other guests we missed?
No, I think you got everyone, excuse me.
All right. And then to our visitors, our returning visitors. So we had a few that were on earlier. I know some may have got off. So if I missed your name, please forgive me. But I want to thank Katrina for coming by today and sharing with us. I really appreciate you coming back again, Katrina. It's always a welcome to see you. Also, I thought I saw Charles earlier. I saw Alice earlier. I saw Charlene earlier, and a few other visitors and guests. So if I missed your name, I do apologize. Also, my legacy members, I can't forget about them, my backbone of my group. These are the people that have been with me from day one, or they have completed the 7-day fitness and spiritual challenge.
You missed Sasha.
What's that?
You missed Sasha and Salome.
Well, I think I mentioned Sasha earlier, but if I did, I apologize. Sasha, welcome back again. And Salome is a legacy member, so I'll be mentioning her in a couple of seconds. But Sasha, thank you so much for returning again. We really appreciate your presence. And of course, you have an open invitation for tomorrow as we do our testimony Thursday. All right, my legacy members. I have Dee Dee, I have Bernadine, I have Marie, I have Sylvia, and of course myself and Lou D as well. And did I miss anybody, Dee Dee? I think those are and Salome, also Salome as well.
Yes, you got everyone.
Okay. All right, everyone. Who did their food challenge today? All right, for those that are brand new to our group, we have a food challenge every week. So this week, our food challenge is to have 3 days of meatless meals. 3 days of meatless meals. It could be 3 days in a row. It could be every other day. 3 days of meatless meals. And the reason why we're doing that is we're trying to couple good eating with good fitness. Okay, because it's important for us to kind of reduce the meat that we eat, because a lot of those meats have steroids in it, a lot of preservatives, additives, and things like that. Sometimes we need to take a break on some of that stuff to give our bodies time to reset and give us an opportunity to have other nutrients. So who was able to do their food challenge today? Who did their food challenge today? Okay, I see D, I see Sylvia. Who else? Anybody else do the food challenge today? Okay, all right. Well, for those that did the food challenge, congratulations, great job. Again, it's only 3 days out of 7. Only 3 days out of 7 that you have to go meatless, okay? All right, great job. Let's see. All right, like, subscribe, and follow us on our social media to all of our guests and our visitors. Please support us on our social media. Get Fit, the number 4 God. Get Fit for God on Facebook and also on YouTube. And for those that are visitors and guests, we have about 128 videos on YouTube. So go check out some of the videos, some of the series that we've done in the past. I think you'll really enjoy it. And again, support us on our social media. All right? Appreciate that. Any prayer requests? Does anybody have any prayer requests today? Any prayer requests today? All right, Dee Dee.
Yes, if everyone can please keep my mother-in-law, she's one of our legacy members, Miss Sheila, in your prayers. She mentioned the other night about her son-in-law's father who had found out he had cancer. Well, she messaged me today to let me know that he passed away. So just please keep their family in your prayers, her son-in-law, her daughter. Thank you.
All right, definitely we'll keep them in our prayers. Ludin?
Yes, I want to request prayer for Edwina. Edwina was on our live, and then her aunt passed away, and they had to take her to another state to bury, and she had difficult times to come back because of the snow and everything. And she back now, and she want to come back on like next week after she get things together or something like that. So she asked for prayer. She asked for prayer.
All right. Okay. Thank you. We will keep her in our prayers. Sylvia?
There was a young lady that I worked with that came on the live. I think it was like on maybe a Monday. Her name was, or I think it was Latanya. She asked me to pray for her, but I wanted to just put it before the Get Fit for God family to pray for her uncle. He has stage 4 cancer, and it's someone else that she said was going through something, and they went to she asked that we would pray, that God's will be done, because and she, going through a lot in her mind in regards to it. So just, pray for her and her family.
Wonderful, wonderful. We definitely will keep them in our prayers. Anyone else have a prayer request? Any other prayer requests? Maybe some of our visitors or guests. Do you have any prayer requests? You can come off mic if you'd like. Go ahead.
Hi, good night. You guys hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm just asking for prayers for my stepdad. He got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in January, and he's on chemo. And right now he was doing good for a while, but right now he's really not doing good. He almost fell today, so I'm just asking for strength and just maybe for God to just prolong his life a little bit more. That's my prayer request right now.
All right. We definitely will keep him in our prayers. Anybody else have a prayer request? Anyone else? If you need to raise your hand, or you can come off a mic if you have a prayer request. All right. Okay. Well, it seems like we're all in sync and we all are blessed. Everyone else is blessed. Nothing wrong with that. Good job. All right. Who would like to pray tonight? Maybe one of our visitors or guests. Would you like to pray tonight to close us out? We'd love to hear from you. Any of our visitors or guests would like to pray tonight? If you'd like to pray, just raise your hand, or you can come off the mic and close us out. Any of our visitors or guests would like to pray tonight? All right. Well, I guess I'll just have to pick somebody then. I see you raising your hand, your invisible hand, Marie. Great job. Go ahead.
Goodbye. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Please let us touch in agreement with each other. Oh God, Heavenly Father, we call upon you tonight, Lord, in our midst. We know that you protect us throughout the day, Lord. It's come time for our rest. We ask for continuous guidance and protection wherever we have fallen short, Lord. We ask for forgiveness. We ask that you bless everyone on this platform and the persons who will be listening to the replay, Lord. We ask you bless their families. We ask for all the prayer requests, touch in agreement with them, oh Lord. All the families who are grieving, who are having problems, Lord. We ask, mighty Lord, that you bless them, each and every one. We ask that you continue to give Aaron and Didi the strength to continue this platform, because Lord, me and all the persons on this platform are learning, Lord, and we are getting better of serving you through this platform, Lord. We ask all this and your blessings through your Son, Christ Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Wonderful prayer.
Amen.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Amen.
All right, everyone. So that ends our Get Fit for God session for today. I invite everyone tomorrow to our Testimony Thursday. Let's come out in numbers tomorrow and share our testimony again. Everyone has a testimony. If you woke up this morning, that's a testimony. If you have a job, that's a testimony. If you have good health, that's a testimony. If you have finances, that's a testimony. Everyone has a testimony. Breathing in air in your nose is a testimony. So come out, share your testimony with someone you never know that might change somebody's life. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night.